Hey there, YouTubes. This is Grimweird coming back at you with more MC Eternal mod pack playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2. I am both highly annoyed and also highly relieved. I was just out trying to do a few errands. I spent an hour or so just roaming around the world. I traveled to a glacier trying to find a blizz spawn that I could capture in a soul vial to make a blizz farm with no luck, so that was frustrating. So then I decided to, visit some taiga and some taiga hills, see if I could get them to spawn there. Again, no luck. I tried all the tricks. I uncovered the snow so that, like, for instance, I got rid of all of this so that there was snow blocks available for them to spawn on in case they only wanted to spawn on snow blocks. I did that at the glacier. I also used a shovel to pick up a silk touch shovel to pick up a ton of snow and actually move it to a taiga and make a huge snowy area for them to spawn on. No luck. But while I was out running around, I did find a few more wizard towers, like that one right over there, and I raided them. And so I've kidnapped a couple more wizards. They weren't selling anything too cool. There was an evil wizard that in his chest had a book of, I forget what, some master spell. Oh, it was fire breath. It's sort of cool. It shoots out like a fire, like a fire dragon. The range is not very good though, so I probably won't use it much compared to my bow. But it was cool to get. But while I was out doing that, I was. Let me continue. So then I wandered off to another glacier and some more taiga areas. I found some more of those dread fortresses with the dread knights, the huge black obsidian, or I guess they're dreadstone fortresses. I fought a frost maw, so that was all fun and good. I was just running around doing errands. And at some point I realized my chest plate was gone. Was gone. And, and I like freaked out. And so I had been throwing things in my inner pouch as one does. So this sends things back to my ME system. And I'd also been doing a lot of trashing as one does, like this. And so I did the usual things. I typed in chest plate, did that, opened my bags just to make sure I wasn't blind, tried to highlight anything. I teleported home. I looked through my ME system, no luck. I checked my tinker's smeltery basins and casting tables because sometimes I accidentally put things there, but usually not my armor. So the only thing I could think of, well, there's two things I could think of. One, I did do this swap a couple times just to give myself night vision. This vision helmet gives me night vision, so when I was looking for blizzes, I had done that a few times. And maybe I fat fingered, maybe I picked up my chest plate, and then maybe I threw it on the ground somewhere, and maybe I threw it off of a high enough ground that my magnet didn't catch it. But that was a whole lot of maybe. Maybe I fought like two or three dragons. Maybe it broke, but I knew it wasn't broken any more worse than any of the rest of my armor. And Tinker stuff doesn't go away when it breaks anyway. And I was just like, oh man, what the hell happened to it? So I was really pissed off because it's just a pain in the ass to make. Remaking it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but the buying the sponge off of the market pisses me off because I didn't want to waste 800 coins for a sponge or however much it is for the polishing shop sponge. It's only 100. In my head it was 800, so I was pissed off. 100 ain't that big of a deal. But also it was the 8 resistant. Again, I have enough. Iron and obsidian to do that, but the whole thing just pissed me off because I thought the game had eaten it or something. So I teleported, or I took the waypoint back down to this village, um, way down here somewhere. So I took the waypoint down to this village, flew back up to this glacier where I had done some hunting and looking for blizzes, flew back over to this area at Glacier where I had done some stuff, flew over to this taiga where I had put down a patch of snow looking for blizzes, flew back up here, stopped here to investigate this place, didn't see anything. And I'm basically, since Tinker's construct and presumably construct armory items don't despawn in the world, I was just looking to see if I had dropped anything. So then I flew back up here, and one of the things I did was I stopped at that mage's tower. Let me get my sleeping bag out here. And once I got back here, I remembered that, oh yeah, there were a bunch of pixies around that tower, and I had shot some of them and picked up some of their pixie dust, just in case I needed pixie dust. So I ran back over that tower and I looked around at pixies, and sure enough, there was a goddamn pixie, pardon my French, carrying my chest plate around. I was both so mad and so relieved. It's one of the most mad and most relieved I've been in this playthrough. But anyway, I shot the pixie and got my chest plate back, and that's my story for the morning. So I thought pixies only stole stuff out of your main inventory, and I didn't think they stole, uh, you know, crazy mod stuff. I thought they only stole, vanilla stuff. But yeah, these pixies down here, I shot several of them now, and I would kill them all, but I don't want to spend too much time around them because I don't want them to continue to mess with me. So I am out of here. So that's been my morning. But now that I've got my chest plate back, which is a huge relief because I was sort of dreading remaking it and buying a new sponge and making Resistant 8 again, let's go on home and I'll show you what I did last night after the ME system thing. So I moved my bed down here and my home point down here, since this is where all my junk is, and moved my crafting tables down here. But I made a crafting terminal. I haven't really arranged this yet. When I put everything in here, I initially had maybe like 2.5 of these drives full. So you can see that we're filling up on types everywhere, as one tends to do. And so I realized, and basically I was really, almost out of Certus quartz. So I realized that while I had gone out of my way to pick up any quartz that I noticed, I hadn't really focused on Certus quartz, or while I was down here doing all of this vein mining. Iron, yes. Diamonds, emeralds, yes. But I hadn't really focused on Certus quartz. If I noticed it, I picked it up, but I wasn't looking for it. So I went through here and got enough, and sure enough, I had missed a bunch of Certus quartz. So I got enough for 10 more drives. So we do have a bit of a buffer. We've got a bunch of the types in place now, so as long as I'm not putting over 40,096 of anything in there, this should sort of hold us for a while. But I do need to go get more Certus quartz because I want to expand this and get into auto crafting. I just can't really push that far until I get some more Certus quartz. As for what else I did, I sort of built a little jail here. Whoops. The Grim Weirdistan Detention Center. And I threw some of the guys I have in here. So I've got a hunter expert. He won't talk to me yet, but he was in a village that was getting ravaged by a dragon and a bunch of sandworms back before I had the ability to fight dragons. And so I saved him, and I'm holding on to him in case I need to talk to him when I become a vampire hunter. And then this pet shop guy, I grabbed him because he would take 2 raw rat, of which I have tens of thousands of rats from my mob farm for emeralds, but he's now stopped doing that. And I also grabbed this druid, mostly because he would give me emeralds for 4 apples, but he has stopped. So those guys are going to be set free. They're going to go and live on a farm and run free and happy. Honest. But these are the 3 wizards, the 3 friendly wizards that that I have offered them accommodations. So basically, you can keep trading them. I've just been trading them books for magic crystals, but then they will start offering you stuff like wands and etc. They're being real stingy with these, so I think only one of them is offering me stuff, and it's not an upgrade that I really want. So the trades have not been in my favor. Um, I did get, well, I'm considering getting Summon Phoenix from this guy. Um, but if you keep trading with them, eventually there are 12 trades, so that's how you know you're done. So basically, you trade with them. I've been trading with them with books until they stop giving me crystals, which is usually in the 6 to 12 books range. And then I close the thing and open it back up and give them another 6 to 12 books, close the thing, open it back up as they level. And eventually you will have 12 things available, and that's when they stop giving you new trades. So that Summon Phoenix is something I want to buy, possibly. I've only got 2 of the Astral Diamonds or whatever they are. Fire Breath is another one. I got that actually loot, so I'm glad I didn't buy it. But these Astral Diamonds are super rare, so I've only got 2 of them, so I'm being really picky about what master books I might do. Fire Jets, I'm not sure what that one does, but Meteor is a good one, but it also does a lot of damage to blocks. It'll like blow up dirt blocks, so I haven't picked up that one. Rain of Tears, I don't even know what that one does. But again, I sort of like ice and lightning better than fire, so I'm tempted to hold out. Um, so yeah, I've got these guys. Probably what I'm going to do is make a mob duplicator and put one of these guys in them. And I think it's like the villagers. So if you put a villager in a mob duplicator, like if I put this druid in a mob duplicator, the villagers that come out are still going to be randomly assigned their type. So, clerics and farmers and engineers and shady merchants could all be duplicated out of that guy. And I think it's probably going to be the same thing with these guys. So I'll probably propagate these guys because they're not easy to find. I got these 3 guys, and I've killed 3 evil wizards, and that's like about the 6 or 7 towers that I've been to. But that's going cool. So, yeah, I think I'm going to pause here. I was just going to sort of fart around a bit tonight since I already uploaded a video from last night today. Um, so I was just going to fart around and do some exploring and whatnot, but then I lost my chest plate and I had to get that off my chest. Pun intended. But this place up here is looking a little barren now. I want to definitely run my crafting terminals and whatnot up there, up to that part of my base where I was doing my crafting before. So my smeltery is up there, and this is where I used to do all my tinker's crafting. And I want to run cables up there and put crafting terminal and ME terminal and stuff up there, up in this area. I just don't have enough Certus quartz to make a lot of cabling right at the moment. Which brings me to what we probably should do today. There's probably 2 things we should do today if we have time, which is breach into Twilight Forest and then breach into the Beneath. I was going to go into the Beneath, but then I lost my chest plate and I didn't want to go in there without all that armor. So I thought I was going to have to remake my armor tonight. Yeah, so I'm going to pause here, see how much run time we have left. Ooh, and I forgot to open my black thing, my black market chest. Magical boomerang. Yay. And so what else? Yeah, so we're going to do that. I did actually move my... Where did I put it? I moved my wither skeleton from a mob imprisonment tool to a soul vial. I think the powered spawners are easier to make for me at this point than the mob duplicators. So I'm going to, as soon as I can find a blizz, I'm going to make a blizz powered spawner and a withered power spawner and change over my mob farm from blazes and endermen to blizzes and wither skeletons. So I did do a little research. I've never had problems finding blizzes before, usually any cold environment, but there are so many different mobs here. The glaciers were overrun with harpies, so at least seems like the chance of harpy spawns is way higher, and it may be a case where it's just masking the blizzes, which is a bit frustrating. But there is another way to get blizzes. You can use a fluid transposer to let's take a look at that recipe. We got another one of these. Ooh, I do have another one of these. You can, let's see, blizz. So you can use a fluid transposer to put liquid XP, which I have tons of, into snowballs to make blizz powder. And then when you have enough blizz powder, you can use a compactor to compact blizz powder into blizz rods. And then when you have blizz rods, you can make a tier 3 blizz seed and actually grow blizz rods or blizz powder or whatever they are, or blizzes. I don't know. I've never done mystical agriculture for monsters. Maybe you make blizz chunks and those blizz chunks do something. I don't know. But that's a long ways off because I got to get into mystical agriculture. I got to get monster chunks, which I've never done. I think you have to create a weapon that has the chunky perk that makes chunks drop when you kill monsters. And then I got to get up to intermediate tier 3. So there's just a long, long process to do that. I'd really rather just soul vial one. I haven't been running this as much now that we've sort of got a basis going. So I think I'm going to spend one more half hour or so looking for a blizz spawn before I try and push myself down that route. And actually, just to let you know why I want one so bad is I want to make cryotheum dust so that I can make signalum upgrade kits. So signalum upgrade kits are one of the key things you need to do to make your thermal expansion stuff really good. And usually it's pretty easy because usually I find I blizz pretty easily, and I put them in a soul vial and make a spawner out of them and put them in my mob farm, and I have blizz rods for days. But that's turning a little tedious this time. I just don't think there's any other way to make them. Yep, this is the only recipe. Blizz powder, snowballs, and redstones. So, gotta get her done. I guess there could be a blizz spawner in some dungeon. There are so many dungeons around here. I could try raiding some dungeons that are in glaciers to see if there's a blizz spawner in them. That might make a certain amount of sense. Definitely found an overworld blaze spawner in a nether-themed dungeon tactics dungeon, so that could happen. Anyway, I'm going to pause here and figure out what we need to do. I'll probably make myself a Beneath portal and a Twilight portal and get them set up. And then in the rest of this episode, we will breach one or two of those. Be right back. Okay, so I made a deep dark portal and thought I had turned on the camera and went through it, but hadn't. So I came back and we'll try this again. So here it is. Sorry, not deep dark, the Beneath teleporter. So here's the Beneath teleporter, and if we right click on it, we appear in a little room. And we are, I don't know if you always do this. I took a look at Direwolf 20's playthrough and his YouTube video on the Beneath, and he was up in the air. But it looks like we were down at Bedrock, down at Y5, which is actually probably a bit easier. Well, I don't know. Because I sort of want to dig my way up and put a cave illuminator in place. But I want that cave illuminator as high up in the world as I can get. So I guess... So we got a lot of tools here. We've got my illumination wand. I brought torches. We've got a cave launcher. The works. So we got to keep things lit because I think you take damage when you're in the dark. And then I think also things like shadows spawn in the dark that will try to drag you in and hold you into the dark. We also have a torch launcher, which I obviously don't use very often and I'm not very good with. Hey, some thorium ore. And lithium ore. Gonna need that eventually. Might as well pick that up. I usually don't dig tunnels like this because I hate the claustrophobic feel of the low ceilings. According to, just taking a look at Direwolf's 20s, it looks like most of the osmium was... Hey, is that the ground? That is the ground. Oh, and again, my squid wing crapped out on me. There we go. So I'm just going to fly around a bit and give us some basic darkness lighting up. And then, whoa, okay. That's not going to fly. So flying up gets you into the darkness too. So if I want to put my cave illuminator up at the top of this place, I'm going to have to get up there in a way that lights things around me as I go, which is a bit annoying. Let's see where we're at here. So let's go ahead and maybe try to look, beautiful osmium. Deploy this for a little safety. Love the torch launcher. Oh, hey, that'll get us pretty far up into the air. Maybe I'll climb that. We got a decent range on this sucker, too. May as well just go nuts with this thing. Better safe than sorry, eh? Oh my god, there are dragons here. That seems unnecessary. Alright, well so far this is going fairly simply. Don't want to get cocky, but feeling pretty good about our chances of being productive here. So now, if I get some light up in the air, I should be able to fly up here. And so what I want to do, turn that off. So what I want to do, you know, I probably don't need to go much higher than this. Let's just put the cave illuminator right here. That's probably good enough. I don't think there's anything I particularly need up there in the top. Whoa, we've got a spark explosion going on. Flares, I mean. Look at it go. Look at all that light. There's a big ice and fire dragon thing there. I wonder if the darkness killed the dragon, though. It might have. I certainly don't hear it roaring. Alright, once again, cave illuminator for the win. So this gives us a good look around. So basically, there's some Certus quartz. I like that. There's some osmium. Need more osmium. Definitely seen a couple of Certus quartz nodes. How much range have I got on this bad boy? Oh, am I out of torches? No. What's it doing? Oh, that's my illumination wand, not my torch lobber. So one of the things we can do is once this give this a few minutes to light everything up, is we can then move it over on top of, say, that pillar over there, off in the distance. And that'll give us even more area to search, hopefully without being molested too much from monsters. But yeah, for right now, I think we're golden. Yeah, looks like we're good. I think for right now, I'm just going to go try and dig up some osmium. Like this. Whoa, this might pick overshoots there. May as well pick up some of the nuclear craft ores as well, because I'm sure we're going to need those eventually. Alright, well, this was much less eventful than I had feared. So we're pretty much good to go here. I'm going to pick me up some osmium. I don't think I'm going to do anything too wild or crazy or go exploring or looking for grooves or fighting monsters or any of that craziness. I'm just going to keep it real simple. Pick up a little Certus quartz, pick up a little osmium, and then we'll head over to the Twilight Forest and take a look over there. So I'm going to pause the recording here, see how much runtime we have left, and assuming we've got at least 10 minutes or so, let's go do our breaching run on the Twilight Forest and see what it looks like. Just want to make sure I can still one-shot most monsters here. And there's something yellow over there in the distance. There was something yellow over there in the distance. Where are you at? I think I got it. I'm going to end up picking all the tin up just because it's hard to tell from a distance if it's tin or osmium. Lid. Got to be careful not to get too close to the edge, or shadows will come out and try to drag me into their drama. I wonder if the dragons are a bit better or a bit richer in this dimension. The overworld dragons seemed pretty poor. I think there was another chest over here. Yes. There's some emeralds. Sweeping edge 3. I'm going to take that and strip that off. Alright, nothing too exciting, but I'll take it. Alright. Ooh, Certus quartz. So one of the things about the Twilight Forest is that depending on where the Certus quartz is, which is what I'm mainly after, mining down at bedrock in the Twilight Forest sort of sucks. There's so much tree roots and water there that it can be a real mess. You almost need like scuba gear and an axe to go with your stuff. No, I'm going to need a decent amount of boron. I always go through boron and lithium pretty quick when I'm doing nuclear craft, compared to say thoron or thorium, I should say, and whatever the other one, magnesium, whatever the other one is. All right, where are we at? 23 osmium. That is perfectly good. That's like 46 ingots. That's more than enough to get me started in what I want to do. So I'm going to call this a rousing success. We sort of cheesed it a bit, as we did with dungeons with the cave illuminator. But we were doing fine just with the torch thrower, even before that. Where did I come up? Here's where I came up. I need to mark this somehow. I guess I can go put a portal here. Here we go. Alright, I can't stand it. I gotta go see if the dragon's here or not. I have seen cases, I forget where, but I have seen cases where the where did I see that? Oh, it was in Enigmatica 2 Expert. Nope, it's just asleep. Ooh, but it looks like it's big enough. It's a high stage one. I'm going to pause here and see what kind of a time we have left. We might fight that one and try to get try and get another egg. Be right back. Well, that's sort of a bummer. I neglected to pull the camera back on. The answer to the question was that was a 2,973 hit point male, stage 5, and I dropped him like a bad habit. So, weren't no thing. Yeah, but I missed turning on the camera. So I'm looking through his chest. There are a ton of chests. I got most of them out of this room, but you can see still over here that he had tons of chests. In general, the chests on the stage 5 males seem to be better. So I think the crappy ones that I got that were filled with things like just basically a few iron and a few gold, and iron and gold weapons under my base from that stage 5 female. I think that's just because female dragons can give you an egg, so they have worse chests. And then the males don't drop eggs, so they have better chests with diamond and enchanted weapons and stuff. And the books and whatnot. So as I was saying when I thought I was recording, I'm just going to go ahead and finish grabbing most of this stuff. I already picked up a bunch of it, and grab a lot of the vein mineable gold, because as I was mentioning when I didn't have the camera running, the gold does get worth picking up if you do a lot of dragon hunting and just sort of get in the habit of vein mining all the big chunks of gold that are together. I've got over 10,000 gold nuggets in my dank null, so that's over 1,000 gold, and I actually pilfer from that regularly to make myself more gold ingots. And again, the trick is just vein mining the ones that are connected. Otherwise, it gets pretty old. Anyway, so I'm going to pick up a few more of this stuff, and then I'm going to make a sweep of, you can see our big area that we have lit up with the cave illuminator. I'm going to make another sweep of the surface here, just pick up a little extra osmium if I spot any more. And then let's go check out the Twilight Forest. All in all, this was pretty uneventful. Even before the cave illuminator, we were doing real good with just the torches and the torch launcher, so weren't no thing. So yeah, just gonna pick up lots and lots of gold nuggets. And finish picking up the chests. And away we go. I love the fact that I now have an ender pouch that is hooked up to the ender chest, which is importing into my ME system, because now I can grab all this junk. Probably more junk than I should. And throw it in my ME system right from here. I just gotta remember not to throw everything in there. Things that I do not need, I can throw up there. Alrighty, so that's most of the chests. There's a few more around. There's nothing totally earth-shattering in these chests, so yeah, that climb totally wasn't worth it. I have plenty of manuscripts to unlock the whole book, I think, if I needed to. Alright, let's call it. So let's head back out of here. Where did I come in? I don't know. Make a new hole, I guess. Here we go. Alrighty. So, as I keep saying, I'm just going to look around a bit more, and then we will go hit the Twilight Forest. This time I mean it. Be right back. So this place can get exciting quick. So over there in the distance, you might be able to see an Enderman with a tuba. So there was actually 3 of them over there, and from a distance, I didn't know what I was looking at, so I looked at it, and I pissed off a couple of the Endermen with tubas. So they, of course, teleported over and proceeded to attempt to molest me. And they were pretty tough. They did some damage and took some damage. So definitely can't get too overconfident here. Or next thing you know, I could be swarmed by mobs that are quite a bit tougher than overworld mobs. So yeah, keep my eyes to myself. Unless something has a hat. If you're a monster and you're wearing a hat, you're just asking to get an arrow in you. That's all I gotta say about that. Boron. Okay, so I didn't really mean it. We didn't really leave. I feel bad. I don't want to like take off and then while I'm still running around here and then have some huge hairy fight or be assaulted by shadows or get attacked by a grue or have something exciting happen with the camera off. So I'm just going to finish my sweep here for osmium and then we will go. And Certus Quitz crystals are also welcome. Grass. We're getting a fair amount of osmium just in this 3-chunk radius from our cave illuminator. So that makes me very happy. Lithium is good too. Oh, and real uranium as opposed to that explosives. There's some bright green, lime green uranium ore in the overworld, but it's for some, I think it's named ghosts, ghosts exploding something or other or whatever. Anyway, it's only usable for... Oh, hey, we finished a quest. That's good. It's only usable for making specialty explosives from that one mod pack. So this uranium that I'm picking up here, the sort of dark green stuff from immersive engineering, that's the real stuff that we want. Throw out just a bit more light here. Oh boy. Oh, shoot. I noticed right as I moused over him that he was reflecting. And I one-shotted myself. Hey, at least I one-shotted him too. Alright. Well, we don't have a magic key, but that's alright. See, I got cocky. I knew I would. Oh, this is annoying in ghost form. Can't fly. Didn't make it. I have to run around the long way. I haven't died too much in this mod pack, so our original... I got ambushed by a dragon while I was flying around in like the very early stages. And then I died like 3 or 4 times against that stage 5 dragon that was underneath. Sure I got all my stuff here. That was underneath. Always puts things back in weird places. Not weird, but not where I want them. Alright. Hello. Be a bit more cautious here. In fact, I think it's about time we call it. Go check out the Twilight Forest. This time I really, really mean it. I got plenty of things that I need here. Got plenty of osmium to last me a bit. Would be nice to have more uranium. Let's see. Hold on to all that for now. Let's head out. Man, those bosses that do reflecting when you have a really high power bow are a bit of a pain in the ass. Well, so as I was saying, so I got killed by a dragon while flying around. That was, my bad. Understandable. And then I got killed 3 or 4 times by the dragon under my base when it destroyed the blocks on my ladder, and I basically fell into its nest a few times, and then died a couple more times trying to do corpse retrieval, not realizing that it could destroy blocks and move around, and it was overall just more annoying than I'm used to. And then I've died, that's like the 4th death from, 3rd or 4th death from yellow boss mobs with that reflecting power. That one's just vicious. I keep falling for it. And not too many other deaths than that, really. Hasn't been too horrible. I am a cautious player, though, usually. Alright, let's head for the Twilight Forest for the first time. Or not. I don't know why that didn't work, but let me pause and see what our runtime is at. Oh, and it was just slow to form a new world. So we did make it through. Lots of little birds. A dark forest near us. I think we're just going to clear out some of these trees real quick. Oops. This stuff's all in the wrong spot from dying. Clear out some of these trees and plop down a nice little base for us. Alright, where's our copy paste tool? Here it is. Not a lot of room here. Move some of this dirt. Now, I don't know if this place is default Twilight Forest or if it is beefed up in any way. Guess we'll find that out. Just gonna make myself a little extra room. And that's probably good enough. So let's go ahead and drop this. Let's rotate it. Drop it there. See how badly we clipped into the rest of the world. Not too bad. I'll fill in some dirt under it just so that it looks a bit less funky. Does my squid ring work here? Hey, it does. Yay. Alright, so we'll fill in some of these trees. Get some light in here. And I think we're good to go. Get rid of that. I could just hit undo and then redo, but not super necessary. I don't think this place is anywhere near as deadly as the Nether or the Beneath. So I mostly just want to have a semi-nice little cube to call home while I'm here. Probably go ahead and do that. And I'll bring back a door. We'll put a door in here. A bit more light around. Eat some sandwiches. Alright, we are in business. Let's take a look around real quick. I don't have a lot of time this episode to do much more. But to be honest, the first things I need to do, and the reason I wanted to open these up, was I want to do some mining, both are you reflecting? A vortex desecrator. One-shotted. Take that. Alright, I can one-shot a Pied Piper, so things can't be too horrible here. Advancement made. So I think we need to kill some ravens for some raven feathers to make a map. I'm sure there's a quest for that. So I might do some of that action. But mostly, as I was starting to say before I decided to shoot that Pied Piper, mostly what I'm interested in doing here is, to start, is just getting some mining done, just to see I still need a lot of Certus quartz, so I'm going to do some mining here and in the Beneath. Let's go ahead and set up a thing here before I get lost. New portal. Over there we got some big old thing. That does not look familiar. I don't think I've seen one of those. It's like a huge mushroom roofed city. I don't think I've seen one of those before. Not that I've spent a huge amount of times. Oh, and there's one of those Dungeon Tactics battle towers. So there is extra stuff here that I'm not going to be aware of. The Pied Piper spawn here, so there might be other annoying Mousies and Midnight and Fish is Undead and other types of weirdness going on here. So I'll have to keep my head on a bit of a swivel. Let's get out the glider and just take a look around real quick. So we got the forest, that's good. That's where we'll find the underground, like goblin, I forget what they're called. Oh, there's another dragon. So dragons spawn in the Twilight Forest, that's interesting. Squid ring and glider actually work really well in the Twilight Forest. It won't let you fly, but it will let you use the squid ring and glider, so that's nice. The first thing we need to do is do Naga, so we got to watch out for that. We'll also want to keep our eyes open for, what is that? Oh, that's another dragon thing peeking up out of the ground. This might be an excellent place to fight dragons. We're going to need to find, I think, the Naga first to go through the progression here. And we do want to go through this progression. We have to if there's a few things we want that require making, getting the trophies. Alright, so basically this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fly around a bit and find the edges of what we want. There is another dragon thing peeking up out of the ground. That makes them real easy to find and real easy to drop in and surprise your stage 4s and stage 5s. This is going to be prime. There's a Naga area, I think. Yep, I believe that's a Naga area. So that'll be our first target when we fight here. But let's call it an episode here. In between this episode and next, I'm going to do some mining in the Beneath and some mining here. And then next episode, we'll probably take out the Naga, maybe take out a few dragons here. We might be getting to a point where I've got a green dragon egg, or emerald, I guess is the proper term. And we might get a few more eggs. It might be about time to hatch a few dragon eggs and train them up. I've got a decent amount. Let's go ahead and teleport home. I've got a decent amount of blood that I've been collecting. I'm not sure I have enough scales yet because I've been concentrating on the blood first with mostly the above ground dragons, since I know I don't have to worry about accidentally not getting an egg from them. So let's see. Oh, I've got 60 blood, so that's good. And I've got 214 red. I've got a decent amount of dragon scales as well. Let's take dragon steel is what we're looking for here. Is it one word? Yes. We need the fire dragon steel. Alright, here we go. So 1 iron and 1 fire ingot makes a fire dragon steel. So we can make 60 of that now. That's a decent amount. That's enough to get a lot of stuff done. Pardon me, I have to cough. I embossed my Tinker's weapon with dragon steel in my Enigmatica 2 and I liked it. But we could also use it straight away in making something too as an armor piece in this mod pack, so that would be cool. The dragon steel sword, it starts at a 26, so that might be real nice. I'm not sure if that's going to be better. That might actually be better than my Ender Mark II. It starts at 16, but it gets. I think the empowered also makes it tougher. But I think if I were to put all of these enchantments on a fire dragon steel sword, when you add in all of the leveled up and astral sorcery perks, I might be a force to be reckoned with. Jeez, even the pickaxes do tons of damage. I also really like this armor. I went ahead and made this, so Enigmatica 2 didn't have construct armory, so I couldn't make this style of armor. But I did make the fire dragon steel, and it worked quite well for me, since you can enchant it unlike this stuff. But I do sort of want to play around more with this stuff, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm babbling now. Bottom line is, I'm going to, in between this episode and next, do some mining and kill some dragons, and then we'll pick an egg to hatch, and hatch and grow up a dragon, and start working on the Twilight Forest progression, and have all sorts of fun. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, I also found one of the little red witch doctor-y type Mousies guys that spawn all over the place. I found one of their boss guys, so we could go whoop him at some point. I left his beacon on just to remind me to go whoop him on camera at some point. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.